John, it took you guys just a little bit to get going in that early stretch. Just as some of those shots aren't falling, what's your mindset, thought process as you guys are trying to find a rhythm?
I think keep attacking and keep trusting each other. I think we did that well in the first half. That's what opened the lead up. And then the second half, what we did was, kept at it what we did in the first half, and then clean up our defense a little bit better.
Let's go Nick, and then in the back if we could.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm sure you were asked this maybe this week, but just being a Wisconsin native, I know team first guy. So what was it like to obviously get the victory and also have maybe your best performance of the day in this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. That game's been circled on our schedule for a while. Obviously, anytime, we play a in-state rival, it's gonna be a game every time. So just being out there, being able to experience that, it's a blessing, especially with this group of guys. I don't want to do it with anybody else, so I'm just blessed.
Go ahead.
This is for John and Andrew. Has early this season shown you how entertaining you guys can be when you're clicking?
Yeah. Like when we play with each other and we play together, it's really fun playing with these guys. Plus, any given night, you can, from our three guards that start, from our guards that come off the bench, from our bigs who play really well today, like it could be anyone's night. It could be Rhodey's night. It could be my night. It could be Nick's night. And then we're just feeding off each other, and that's really fun to play with. And going to battle with these guys.
John, back here. Consistency's been a pretty big message over the last few weeks. Do you guys feel like this was maybe your most consistent game, start to finish?
I feel so, yeah. We'll look at the film and see what we need to fix, but I think this has been the most consistent 40 minutes we have played. Obviously, they had a little scoring stretch, but we weathered that storm and came out with the victory and, tying up a few things that in the past that we need to work on.
Michael, you got a mic yet for Michael here, please? Oh, go ahead, and then we'll get you, Michael.
Andrew, piggybacking off Nick's question, had you gone to any Wisconsin Marquette games growing up? Do you remember anything about the rivalry? And there's just
I think I've been to a couple of them. Yeah. So.
Anything memorable?
Wisconsin winning, I guess. But I've been to a couple and just, obviously growing up in the state, watching, I know how, intense this rivalry is. And, especially me being in my last year, I wanted to go out on top. So glad we could do it.
Just can I follow up on that quick? Did you say anything this week? Because there's just not many Wisconsin guys in this game on either side. Did you? Mm-hmm. Did you say anything?
John's been in this for a couple years. He's played them. Was it the third time?
Third time, yeah.
So a lot of them, they knew, but, I definitely try to bring a little bit of edge this week, just let them know it's personal too. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Michael.
John, there's obviously a lot of scores on this team, but you've got 86 points in your last 3 games. I guess, what was the learning curve of playing around so many other scorers, and how do you feel like you found your rhythm over the last couple games?
Honestly, I just learned from the ones that came before me. Shout out to John Tanji. Like, he was consistent with his scoring every single night, and just different spots. Obviously, when you're top on the scout, you got to find different ways to score, and you just got to be mentally prepared. And then I just learned from guys like that if you're a scorer and that's your job, you have to be consistent with it. And I think these guys do a good job of just finding me in the right places and, and just playing good off me. And we have a very unselfish team. If it's my night and I'm rolling, they try to look for me and find me. If it's not my night, it's someone else's night, I'm trying to look for it and find them. I think it just comes and flows. But I'm blessed to be part of this team, and I'm blessed to, be able to score,
Let's go, Nick, and then if you can get.
Alexis, double-double tonight. You didn't miss a shot that you took. Just how do you feel like your rhythm and comfort are coming along in this increased opportunities?
Wow.
Yeah.
No. I think this game really helps me for my confidence. I haven't scored in the last 3 games. On the trip, I haven't scored any points, but I know my role. It's definitely different from what I used to, and this game definitely helps me. And the guys are giving me the ball when I'm hot. So yeah.
Go ahead, Bart.
Andrew, pretty efficient night for you shooting wise. Just can you speak to kind of what went into that today?
Yeah. I try to go in the same game every time and just, let the ball come to me, try to not force anything. So, I just did the same thing at night, and things fell into my hands, and I just took advantage of it. So, I just try to come with that approach every day. I'm playing with great people around me and guys who can score. So when the ball finds me and I need to make a decision or make a play, I'm in the right state of mind to do that when I get it and when it comes to me. But just not forcing anything and just sticking to the script.
In the back with the
John,
camera.
back here. Can you just describe the emotions of this week, scoring 1,000 points and then 30 points against Marquette, a big win over a rival? Just the emotions you've been feeling this week.
It's a blessing. That's the emotion I feel right now. I'm blessed. And it's an honor to be a part of this team. And, I'm blessed to be in this culture and play for Wisconsin, wear this W across my chest. I didn't want to shed a tear when Coach hugged me and he gave me the ball for 1,000 points, but it was a very emotional moment for me. But I knew I had a game to play. But, yeah, it was just a blessing that Coach took a chance on a kid like me and, just reaping what I sowed of seed time and harvest, what I go by, reaping my harvest by planting the seed, just keep working hard, and Coach trusted me.
We got Andrew in the back, and then we got John, and we'll.
John, what does it mean to you to beat those guys? How important is that to you?
It's important. Like when I first came in, I didn't know how big the rivalry was because I'm a Michigan kid. All I know is Michigan State, Michigan, and Ohio State. So I didn't know how big the rivalry was because I didn't grow up watching Wisconsin. But when I came here and the guys who's from here and Gilly and Klez taught me how big this rivalry is, I took it personal. And it's an honor to beat them because there was a sour taste in our mouth from them beating us at their crib last year. So it's a good feeling beating them at our place and getting the fans what they deserve.
We got 2 questions left. Let's go John and Michael.
For John, when you have Alexis getting a double-double, when you have no one getting a double-double, how much does that kind of free you and the other guards up kind of offensively to do your thing?
Honestly, it helps us just get out and run. When the offensive team shoots a shot and they don't get their offensive rebound, then we get in and we're running. That's when our offense is at their best. So those guys did a great job today, and I know they'll have many more games like that.
Michael, go ahead with the last question.
Alexis, what was your reaction to getting put in the starting lineup earlier this week, and what do you feel like you've improved on most over the course of the season?
What I pulled down, I think, is, as I said before, I know my role, and I just try to do it as best as I can. Box out, rebounds, rim run, and then space the floor out, and I think I got it pretty good at that.
All right, thanks, Dave. First of all, obviously a great atmosphere. Really want to thank the fans and those that remembered to wear red. But I thought it was a great college basketball atmosphere, and our team obviously responded to the atmosphere. I thought we played, for the most part, really well. Things I'll find on film, I'm sure, to correct. But, it's a good day for basketball in the state of Wisconsin when you can have 2 teams in a lot of states that don't play, a lot of schools and states across the country that don't play in the same league. They duck each other, and they don't want to play each other. And I think for us to continue to have this series, and obviously it volleys back and forth at times, but I think it's just good for the game of basketball in our state to put the spotlight on it for a day. And it helps the future, and that's, I think, what this is. So it's great for both fan bases to see this for a day, and obviously for the next generation to see that 2 schools right here in the state of Wisconsin can play good basketball. So on to the game, I think obviously Blackwell I thought was really good, really efficient. Took what was given. I thought our 2 bigs, Winter and Belauskas, you have 24 points and 23 rebounds between the 2 of them. I think Alexis is getting more and more comfortable. Just a lot of good contributions across the board. I thought Rhodey was really good in defensively of kind of captaining what we wanted to do and keeping the ball out of the paint as much as possible. I thought Rapp gave us some good minutes. I thought his passing out of some situations was good, and again, for the most part, a pretty efficient game, and enjoy this one tonight and then get ready to go back into league play.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because early this season showed you at times, the type of offensive firepower and depth you thought this team could be capable of.
Yeah, I think there's still things we have to get better at. I think there's things right within the game we got better at today. I didn't think we got out of screens fast enough and aggressive enough from our 4s and 5s early, and we didn't put enough pressure on the rim. That we started to do that a little bit later in the first half, and then it just opens up so much more, not only for plays at the rim, but Raps. Most of Raps' assist came out of rolling and then distracting traffic and finding somebody on the other side. But I think just the consistency of the pace, it keeps us going, and that's when we see like we sputter at times. We've got to get a little more aggressive with rim running, a little more aggressive with getting out of the ball screens faster, whether we're sliding out or whether we're hitting and rolling, just being more aggressive with pressure on the rim. So yeah, I think we've got a lot of weapons, Jesse, and I think we're not solely dependent. Obviously Blackwell has 30 today, but I think we have 2 or 3 other guys that could, I think Boyd's obviously had a high scoring games. I think Winter's capable of doing that. I think Rhodey is capable of doing that. So we have different options, and a good team tries to continue to find ways and find other ways. When one thing's taken away, we have to go to plan B or C or D. So it's important that you have an unselfish team, that we move the ball, and then you get my talk to him before the game. I said, turn down good for great. We move it well enough, we'll have good looks, but I want great ones, and for the most part, we did that.
That's great up front, Coach.
Greg, you touched on it a little bit there with Alexis. Obviously a double-double tonight, 27, 28 minutes. Just how are you seeing kind of some of that early growth and development within the scheme?
I think the biggest thing with Alexis is just more comfortable and more at ease. I mean, he didn't get here until late August, so you can imagine coming from Lithuania. You know no one. You hadn't met anyone in person. Actually, I did meet Coach Randall when he was over at the U20s. He saw him play, but other than that, I mean, I see him in early September walking down Dayton Street, and I stop and jump out of my truck and go meet him face to face. I had done Zoom calls with him, but never had met him. And there's a language. His English is good, but it's not the first language like it is in Australia or New Zealand, where English is primary. So he's learning that, and he's got to meet all new teammates, all new coaches, and he missed the whole summer. If he had the 8 weeks here, it'd be a little easier transition. So for him, I know the first few days were pretty rough. I mean, it was hard, especially when his parents went back home after they dropped him off. But I can't be more proud of him, of how he's just stayed the course. He's tough. He wants to get better. He's just thirsting for knowledge and instruction, and it's good to see him. His parents are here. They've been here for this. They just came over to see him for his birthday this past week, and we're here again today. So it's good to see him perform really well with his mom and dad and his little brother in the crowd, and it's you're just happy for him that he's in a short period of time he's progressed and really immersed himself in the team as much as he can.
Let's go, Ben.
Greg, what did you like about your team's defense in the low posts today, especially early when the shots weren't falling for you offensively?
Yeah, I think for the most part, we did a decent job of keeping the ball out of the paint, and that's really what you watch Marquette play, and they put so much pressure on you in transition with coming downhill with Ross and with James, and now with Sean Jones back. They just come with such velocity at you, so you have to get back and get your defense set, and there were times that we didn't do that well enough. And then obviously in the half court, you've got to be able to, again, keep the ball in front of us, in front of you. And I thought for the most part we did a pretty good job of that. And then we were able to force them into some tougher shots. And, we lost Gold in the first half. He hit a corner three. There was 2 or 3 possessions there where I thought we got lazy in transition defense, and that was the first 3, and they got another 3 on the front of our bench, I think. But for the most part, I thought we were the first key is getting back quickly. Like, there's no celebration, there's no home run trot. sprint back because the ball's coming right back at you. And for the most part, we did a decent job of that.
Lanson and Josh.
Greg, speaking of maybe passing up good for great, John Blackwell didn't seem like he took a bad shot, and it just that 30 points with ease. And then he mentioned he got emotional with that 1,000-point recognition or whatever, and thanked you and the program for obviously giving him a chance. What does it mean for you to see him take his game up another level, if not 2 levels, and do what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story because I got asked that question the other night after the Northwestern game, and for him to come, we were the only high major to recruit him, and that's everybody else's fault, I guess. So I'm glad I just trusted my gut and trusted my eyes of what I saw in him, and he's such a humble kid, but yet he's a consummate worker and he's a great teammate, and he's gotten better. He didn't come in with aspirations of something that he wasn't when he got here as a freshman. He understood that if he took care of the ball, he played hard and played defense, he'd probably get on the floor as a freshman, and he did. And then from there, your game grows. And a lot of times, so many freshmen come in and chase scoring, and they think that's the answer to get on the floor, and it's quite frankly, it's the opposite. Scoring falls in your lap if you do those other things really well. And then he's continued to add to his game. His body's improved. He's leaned up. He's got more muscle mass, and he's worked on his ball handling. He's worked on his shooting. And the impressive thing about JB is that he's steady. There's never too high. He's never too low. He didn't want me to take him out there when I subbed him with 3-some minutes or whatever. And he goes, I said, the school record's 43. You're a long ways. You ain't getting 43 in 2.5 minutes. So there aren't that many possessions. So relax. We got bigger fish to fry. So just he's really fun to coach because he's such a great person.
Go ahead. We're back to
Coach back here. Consistency's been a pretty big point of emphasis recently. Do you feel like this was maybe the most consistent game you guys have played, and how do you sort of build off of a game like tonight?
Yeah, I think it was pretty close. I mean, there's always going to be – basketball is a game of mistakes, and you just try to be the team that commits the fewest. But I want our guys aggressive. I don't want them tentative. So with aggressiveness, there are going to be some mistakes at times, and just so that we don't repeat them time after time, the same ones. If you're going to make a mistake, make a different one. But I liked our aggressiveness consistently. I thought we were, and for the most part, we were locked in and in the right position defensively. We shut off a lot of what they were trying to do, and but we can always get better. There's going to be a lot of things I'll pull out of the film tonight, and we'll go through it on Monday and learn from that as we get ready for what's coming next.
We'll go with Evan, and we got 3 more questions. And
Coach, this
Evan's
team
coach.
had its toughness questioned after losses to BYU and TCU. I know Marquette had that run there in the second half where they were getting downhill in transition, whatever they wanted. But for the most part, what did you just think of the team's ability to contest Marquette, keep them off the rim when it was in the half court, and your guards sticking their face in the fan there too and rebounding really well?
Yeah, I think that was important. Obviously, the Belauskas and Winter gobbled up a lot of rebounds, but I thought I liked the fight that we showed. I liked the toughness that we've shown, and that's an area that we're growing in. So I thought when they were getting downhill and some stuff in transition is because we were too loosey-goosey on the other end. The ball didn't move well enough. I didn't think we got sloppy with some screening and decisions, and that allowed quick possessions, either bad shots, turnovers, whatever. It put us racing back the other way. It is not the position you want to put yourself in.
Michael?
You mentioned this. John's been a good player since he got here, but when did you start to notice the qualities of a player that could put up these types of numbers that he's done over the last couple games?
It comes through development, through improvement. I mean, and then we never talk about numbers. It's just about improving your game, and then if you put in the work, the results will take care of themselves. So the 30 points and how he's played, that's a byproduct of him doing it the right way and being a consummate worker. And it's also, credit goes to his teammates. I think they realize he's a really good player and try to find him, and then how we play. He gets some stuff in transition. He gets stuff off the dribble. He can shoot the 3 behind the screens. You know, he rebounds really well. He's always got his hands in around the ball when he's in that position. So it's no magic wand or silver bullet, so to speak, that make a player take this type of leap. It's work. It's a lot of time in the gym when nobody's watching. A lot of lonely hours that people don't realize how much time an individual has to put in, and they put in with whether it's their trainers. Everybody's got trainers now and workout guys. And you have to do that. You know, it's not just showing up on game day or when we practice. You put in double, triple the time than you ever spend with the coaching staff on your own, working on your game. So it's a credit to him that he's stayed hungry, and that's the key for JB going forward is continue to stay hungry. But he's in the gym. I think he has a 6 a.m. routine every day. He's in on his own, and a lot of shots, a lot of work. His pregame workout and routine is really good in terms of getting himself ready to play on game days. So you really have to commit to it if you want to be an elite player.
Yep, right there, please.
Marquette has struggled shooting a 3-ball so far this year, and in the beginning of the game they struggled again. I think they started like 1 for 9. Is that something you saw on film that you guys wanted to exploit, and kind of were you able to do that today?
They actually started 1 for 12, but the key is not so much to exploit that, but their strength is to drive the ball to the paint and play in transition. So you try to take away or minimize what their strengths are. And their strengths are obviously with Chase Ross being able to get downhill and how he can bust through gaps, and make plays at the rim. A couple of shots he got to go in today. I was like, how the heck did that go in? He bounced off bodies and went over jump walls and, we're able to finish plays. And he gets fouled a lot, because he comes with such a violent force downhill and he's so quick. So you try to minimize as much of that. You try to keep the ball out of the paint, and then if it does get there, if you get a little bit, we had some silly fouls at the end of the first half. Blackwell had the one where he got his second right in front of me. We had him pretty well walled up, and he reached in and grabbed his arms. It was an obvious call. But you just try to avoid the silly fouls and make them have to take the tough ones through bodies. And, then you try to, again, just try to minimize what they're really, really good at. And for the most part, we did that.
Final question right up here, John.
Nolan, I think it's his 5th double-double this season already, only a month in. I know that there's more that you'd like to see from him, but kind of how do you sum up the impact that he's already made and when he's able to kind of perform at the level he did today?
Well, I think he's consistent now, or more consistent than he's been, obviously in his career, and he should be because he's more mature. He's got a lot of experience. He's played minutes. He's stronger. He knows his body is an important part of his consistency. He's got to take care of it. He's got to continue to get stronger. He's not at the finish line by any means in terms of what we're doing in the weight room. But I think that the confidence that comes with the strength and the right type of weight addition has been important for him because he can play longer stretches. I remember when he was younger, he kind of got the human windsock look going up and down the floor, and he's gassed. That's a lot of arms and legs to drag up and down the floor. So his stamina's gotten better because he's stronger. And I think he's still not even anywhere near where he can be. Yeah, I think he's got at that size how he shoots it, how he moves. Obviously he's gotten the nose for the ball with how he finds it in the right spots and is willing to rip. I haven't seen more rip rebounds loose this year. He didn't do that in the past. So that's a good sign that he's not only more aggressive, but he's more aggressive because he's more confident. He's more confident because he's stronger.
I guess I missed Jim.
Jim, yeah. Okay.
Easy to miss. You talked about unselfishness before. Rhodey fits in that category. I mean, he might go long stretches without shooting because the offense goes to the other guys. He seems okay with that. And did you, when you were recruiting him back in the spring, did you sell him on any kind of a role that might be just,
Not really. I mean, it was come home and help your home state school for your last. It's a homecoming for you. We took a swing at him coming out of St. Thomas. But I think for him, and he actually was up in my office yesterday, and we were chatting, and he's like, "Oh, my shooting." I said, "Rhodes, man, I'm not worried about your shooting. I mean, I'm not. You'll get the shots, and you'll get that. it's how you pass the ball, and I think that's his best skill. And that's what I noticed in June when we had him in workouts. At his size and the way he handles the ball and how he has vision, like the size helps him periscope over a defense. But his unselfishness with the ball and his vision and his ability to put the ball on target, and then his defensive ability. Man, he's always in the right spot. He's quarterbacking the defense. He's very communicative. He talks a lot and he helps. And we've had a lot of players over the years like that help cover up for others' mistakes. And like I said, I think his activity with his hands, he pops balls loose at times. He's an important piece because of those things are just as or more important. That ability to make plays off the bounce and find people, and his defensive quarterbacking ability are maybe even more important than how many shots he has go in. And then you knock in a few shots today, and obviously he looks all world. So, but that passing ability and that defensive kind of glue that he provides to keep us all on the right page is really important.